Hi, everyone. Welcome to the January 2022 Goals Masterclass. I am Monica, the Purple Box Organizer. I'm a home coach, a professional organizer, and a certified life coach. I help you create personal and household goals to declutter your home, schedule, and mind. I'm going to run through this masterclass that I've prepared, and if you have any questions, please contact me afterwards. You can do that by email, on Instagram, or Facebook, just to let me know that you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer those, okay? A lot of this masterclass is inspired by Jon Acuff, who is an author and a public speaker. He also has a podcast. I own 3 of his books, and I really love listening to his podcast every single week. That is my #1 podcast that I listen to right now. And most of it is inspired by episode 1, and his podcast is called All It Takes is a Goal. I decided to take some time to prepare this masterclass and not try to just jump in on January 3rd and teach it, because there's a lot going on when we're trying to get kids back in school and jump back into work or jump back into life after family vacations or holidays and time off that we all typically have at that time of year. And if we have or have not set goals, it's the time where we're like, it's a perfect time to start thinking about it. Or we might have set goals and kind of fallen off the wagon. And so it's a good chance to pick ourselves back up and remind ourselves of why we're doing that. So this masterclass is for you if you have not set any goals. This is for you if you've set goals, but you've already feel like you've lost. And this is for you if you're against setting goals, or if you avoid setting goals altogether because they induce stress. So this place that you're in right now is the right place. I'll take care of you. Jon Acuff said, goals are the fastest path between where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. He's always saying things, and he'll say, this should be a bumper sticker, or put this on a t-shirt. And he's right, but it's the writer in him. He just says things like so eloquently, and I love it. So today we're going to go over the steps that it takes to take a wish to a goal, to a plan, to an action, and then make it into an achievement. All right. The goal of a goal is to set you up for success, not to set you up for stress or overwhelm or guilt or frustration or comparison or avoidance. None of those things. The goal sets you up for success. Okay. Jon Acuff says the best part of a personal goal is that you get to set the rules. You get to make the rules. And then he gives 5 steps how to help you with that. So we're going to go through that. Number 1 is find the starting and the finish line. Okay. As an example, you can say your goal is to lose weight. But you'd want to be more specific because that doesn't really give you a starting or a finish line. So you'd want to say something more like, I want to lose 30 pounds by December 31st of 2022. That's this year. I want to lose that weight. Okay, so your starting line right now is what your weight is. So you'd hop on that scale, write down whatever that weight is, minus 30 pounds, and then you have your finish line. Okay, does that make sense? Maybe your goal would be to read more books this year, but that's not really a goal. That sounds nice. Okay. So you could say you want to read 50 books this year in 2022. Now, if you know the year, there's 52 weeks in a year. So that's at least 1 book per week with a little bit of leeway in there. Okay. Or maybe your goal would be to put more meditation into your schedule. Okay. And you'd want to be more specific and say, I want to meditate daily for 10 minutes. All right. So you really put an actual timeline on there. Number 2 is to decide the rules. And this is again where we get to choose what those are. They should be specific, but not too rigid. Okay. If you want to lose 30 pounds, when will you weigh in? Are you going to weigh in daily? Are you going to weigh in on Sundays, just weekly? Are you going to choose to follow a meal plan? And which one will that be? Come up with a workout or a movement plan. Pick a start date, so you know exactly when you're starting. If your goal is to read those 50 books, make your list of 50 books now that you're going to read. Don't just, oh, it's Monday, what book should I read? And then you have to worry about all the other things that go with it. Figure out where they'll come from. Okay, you can borrow them from a friend. You can get them from the library. Are you going to purchase them? And then decide, do I have to read the physical copy, or does an audiobook count? Okay, do they have to be a specific length? What is my start date? Am I starting right now? Is it okay if I've already started the book? Maybe I started reading a book last year and I'm halfway through it. Does that count? Or does it have to be books that I've started and finished this year? Okay. How about your meditation for 10 minutes every single day? What is your start date on that? And then what time will you do this? Where will you do this? Can it be combined with another task? So how intense or sacred is this meditation? Is it something you just want to be really thoughtful about? Could you fold laundry or do the dishes at the same time? Or do you want to make sure there's no interruptions and you're not doing any other task and you just want to sit and have that meditation time for that 10 minutes? Okay. Number 3 is find the parts that might be challenging and come up with ways to overcome that. Okay. Look ahead at your schedule for any goal that you make. If there are goals that are really important for you to accomplish, and I assume they are, and that's why you set it as a goal, then they deserve a lot of priority in your schedule, right? Look ahead at busy times where you might need to adjust your rules. Do you have family visiting? Are you going on vacation? Looking into the holidays, is there any special events or occasions that are happening that are kind of going to make that disruptive or make it a little bit more difficult or challenging, where you kind of have to plan ahead or do a little extra one day or another? Like that kind of goes into your rules of how rigid you'll be. Okay. Number 4 is train or prepare for the goal before you start. If your goal is to run a marathon, you wouldn't wait until the day of the marathon to start running, right? So if you want to lose that 30 pounds and your start date is February 1st, don't just eat all the junk food and I'm going to start on February 1st. Okay. Put yourself into that mindset already that that's what you're going to do and really start planning. Okay. If your goal was to read those 50 books, when are you going to be fitting that in? Okay. Are you going to do it, in the morning when the kids are off on the bus and off to school? Are you going to do it after lunch? Are you going to do it in the evening time? Okay. Look at when you're going to do that. With all the goals, you have to notice when you'll be making time for them, when you'll work on them, and where to fit them exactly in your schedule. Notice what you'll usually do at that time and know that that might be the thing that you have to cut out in order to be able to accomplish your goal. Okay. And number 5 is keep track of your results and keep it simple. Okay. This is a good thing to think about when you're deciding to choose one goal or to choose several goals that you want to work on. Just because you focus on only one goal, it doesn't mean that you won't be accomplishing anything else. You will be. But trying to track too many goals at one time is way too much to track, and you will most likely not be accomplishing much at all. Okay. How about your tracking? So are you going to write down your daily or weekly weigh-ins in a notebook or maybe an app on your phone? How are you going to track that? A little piece of paper with a checkoff system? Will you make a list of your books and highlight them as you finish reading them? Will you meditate into your schedule each day at the specific time that you're going to do it so that it gets done? And know that it doesn't have to be at the same time every single day. Maybe on Tuesdays, it works better at a different time than it does on Wednesdays. Okay. Be careful, no matter how your goal or tracking your goal is going, be careful not to judge yourself. Have compassion instead. It's going to propel you forward faster than judgment or criticism ever will. Okay. Jon Acuff said, be brave enough to be bad at something new. And pretty much if we're making a goal, this is something that we don't typically do. This is something that we need to work on. So we're not going to be great at it. And we need to know that. If we are, great, go for it, run ahead. But most likely we're just going to take a lot of effort and we're going to trip a little bit and we're just going to have to practice at it to get better. Okay. I like right now a lot of course statements because they're very compassionate when I'm working on something instead of oh, why did I do that? I'm such an idiot. No, of course I'm struggling to lose much weight because I really love these sweets. Of course, I got behind on my reading because I've been enjoying some Netflix time with my husband. Start with compassion and awareness first, okay? Then look at where and how you might be able to adjust. Then tell yourself, I don't have to be perfect at this. I'm just working at it to achieve my goal. No one says there has to be perfection anywhere that counts to achieve your goal, okay? Here's a list I came up with things that no one mentions about New Year's goals. You are still amazing, even if you don't make it to the finish line of your goal. That is true. You can adapt them at any point. You can say, maybe I need to look at what I'm doing here and see if I can change this or adapt it a little bit to what's actually working or what can work, okay? If you get done with one, let's say you set one goal and you finish that goal, you could start another one. So you don't have to think, well, I have to set several goals because I don't want to only work on one goal, okay? You could do that if you want. You can set a goal at any time of the year. It doesn't have to be on January 1st. Doesn't have to be the first of the month, and it doesn't have to be a Monday. I get lost in that train of thought sometimes too. I'll start that on Monday. Why? Wednesday's great too. Start on a Wednesday or a Friday. Today's Friday. All right, here's some mind blocks that might come up. Jon Acuff says, when you have fears, turn them into a list. And I heard this and I was like, woohoo, he's my kind of guy. Okay. He says stress, doubt, and anxiety. And then I added overwhelm, defeat, and avoidance. These are all things that come up, right? Make a physical list, and then it's going to show you the steps that you need to take to complete the task. There's no way that you can write the list and then expect yourself to like, well, now I don't know the order. Well, that's okay too. Just choose something that like, this is an easy step. I can start with that one. Or looking over this list, this makes the most sense to start with that. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Maybe it seems like this is too hard. When something seems too hard, or it's taking a long time, or maybe longer than you wanted it to, maybe it's actually supposed to be doing that. Maybe it's not supposed to be easy. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough or that you shouldn't finish it. It's just simply that it feels harder than you wanted it to be, okay? Or taking longer than you thought that it would. You can ask, what is this challenge teaching me? You could meditate on that or write it in a journal and just see like, what are some things that I can list out this might be teaching me? Okay. Another thought could be, I'll never make it now. Let's say you get behind and you're thinking ahead and you're like, well, I'm never going to make it now. Okay. Do you need to reassess? Like we mentioned just a minute ago, what if you cut your goal in half? It's still part of your goal and it's still moving you in that direction of what you want your goal to be. And you're still achieving a goal. Okay. No one says that if you cut it in half, it no longer counts. It's still a goal and you get to decide that. Okay. Maybe you get lost in the, I should have done this, or I shouldn't have done this. Okay. Again, try really hard to stay out of that judgment and the criticism. Notice where you're at. Notice your thoughts. And what are these thoughts creating? Okay. I really should not have eaten those 3 Oreos and that giant glass of milk. And that makes me feel guilty. And with that guilt, what does that make me do? That makes me want to eat 3 more cookies. Well, I already kind of went down that road and that's just kind of where I'm going. Okay. So if we notice our thoughts, it can tell us what our emotion and the behavior, and that's all connected. Okay. So again, if we're kind of going back to what is a better thought that I could have of this, you know what? Go back to the, of course I had those 3 cookies. I hadn't had Oreos in a while and I just got this new pack and they sounded really good. Of course I had 3 Oreos. Okay. How about the mind block of, I don't even know how to do this. You want this goal. You really want to do it. And you want to achieve it, but then you're stuck with, I don't even know how to do this. Okay. What is one thing that could move you closer? Again, making a list could be really, really helpful. And know that when you make a list, that might not be a comprehensive list of everything that's going to be in your steps of what you're going to do. You'll come across things that like, oh, I didn't really know I needed to do that, but I'll add it on or just take care of it. Okay. Notice where you're at. Oh, sorry. I got lost in my notes here. What is one thing that will move you closer? Just choose one thing. There's no rules about what the exact first step needs to be. Okay. You could just pick something that feels easy or feels doable. Okay. Take some advice from Princess Anna. Do the next right thing. Anything that's going to take you in a forward motion. Okay. All right. What if you are feeling lost in despair or overwhelm in your goal? Okay. Again, what one forward step can I make today? You don't have to do all the steps. What's one thing I can do today? And then you can take a breath and know, maybe today the feeling of overwhelm is a lot, but I could do one thing. Okay. Let's say I wanted to have a clean sink and no dishes at any point. After every meal, I do all the dishes every single time. And somebody got sick. And so there's a pile of dishes and it feels like, you know what? I don't know if I can do my goal because I'm exhausted and, the kiddo is sick and I just don't know if I have that in me. What is one thing that you could do? Well, maybe you can't do all the dishes right this second, but could you rinse and then stack them? That will propel you forward and at least help you feel like you are going in a forward motion toward that goal. You might even feel once you get going, like, I guess I've already started, I can continue this. Or you might be able to be like, that's it, I've done it. That's enough for now. And you can come back to it later, or the husband can take over later, or you come back later and you say, I did good. And because these are all rinsed, there's no food stuck on them or crusties, these will wash up perfectly in the morning and I'm going to go to bed and start again tomorrow. Okay. How about the thought of this is no fun at all? Not all goals are fun. Okay. How can you make it fun? What could I do to make this fun? If I am working out and trying to lose the weight, how can I make it fun? I could download some new recipes. I could ask my friend that's already been on this journey and say, what are your 3 top recipes that you love? Download or come up with a playlist that you like of songs that really get you going for your workout. Okay. So that you have that to look forward to help you in your goal. Okay. Here is some homework for you. Okay. So if you have your notebook and your pen handy, get it ready. Okay. What is your goal or what are your goals for 2022? So you had to know that that was going to come up at some point. What you're going to want to do is do all the things that lead toward accomplishing those goals. Okay. Obviously try not to do the ones that lead you backwards away from them. Go toward those goals. Know you're going to slip and fall and make mistakes, and that is okay. But go toward accomplishing those goals. Okay. What goals should I even make? Maybe you're not even sure what goals you want to make if you haven't made any yet. Okay. Split them up into categories. You could do categories like spiritual, emotional, health and personal, and then home and family. Okay. If you want to make some business goals, that's fine, but make those separate. Though know that they will play a role in your brain space, in your focus, your energy, in your schedule. Okay. You can also tune in next Friday for the business goals masterclass. Okay. And then I want you to write down for each of your goals, write why you chose these goals. Why did I choose this goal? Okay. Write down why for each goal. Be very careful, and we're going to kind of talk about this in a couple of different ways. Be careful that any goal is not attached to a feeling. I want to lose weight because I'll feel better about myself. Because we could do some work and you could already feel better about yourself without losing any of that weight. Most likely, the extra 30 pounds that you want to lose is not the thing that is messing with this up here. Okay. It's all the thoughts and the stories that you're telling yourself. Okay. And that's why you're having those thoughts. Okay. So don't attach goals to, I'm going to have this so I can have this, or because it will make me feel this way. Okay. Write down what strengths do you have that will help you with these goals. And then write down your 3 last wins. They could be big, they could be small. I just want you to notice what your last 3 wins were. Okay, and then here's the other side of the emotion. What will your emotion be when you accomplish each goal? And then I want you to write it for each goal. Let's say I want to earn a specific amount of money in my business. That could be one of my business goals. And I'm not going to attach, because I'll feel better about myself. But I could attach something like pride or a feeling of accomplishment. Okay. Or security, if that's something that I need to earn for my family to help pay the bills. Okay. All right. Now, what I can suggest you doing this that will help with all of that is choose a word or a phrase for 2022, or choose a feeling or emotion for 2022. Now, you could do all these things. You could choose a word that kind of encompasses what you want for the year. You can do a phrase with that, or a specific feeling. Okay. And your goals and working on these goals should all be in line with your 2022 word, phrase, and feeling. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. Then I want you to create a few thoughts to help your emotions stand out. Okay. I'm going to share with you. We did this in our last lesson in my coaching program, and I will share with you 3 of them that I wanted to work on. Okay. So one of the emotions that I wanted to feel, and again, you're going to do this in your personal life and then do it in your business. But this one I specifically did for my business, because coming to the end of my program, that's what I'm really focusing on, is how I'm going to turn this around to help my clients in my business. Okay. So one of the emotions I wanted to feel was bold. And one of my statements is, I will continue to share my message to reach more and more clients. Okay. Whether they work with me or not, whether I'm planting seeds and they're not quite ready for me to work with them on a paying basis, that's okay. I still want to share my message and be able to reach more and more clients or potential clients. Okay. Another emotion I chose was determined. And my statement was, I feel motivated to be creative with my ideas. Sometimes I worry that I've come up with all the ideas that I'll come up with ever, and that I don't have any more ideas. And that's not true. I can always be thinking of more. If I'm feeling that way, that like I'm out of ideas, it usually means I need rest, or I need to just step back and take a break, or I need to look at things from another angle. Okay. And then my third one that I wanted to share was patient. This is not an easy one for me. And it says, I acknowledge that right now I'm not an expert coach. Do I have a lot to give? Yes, I do. But I still can be okay and patient with the fact that I'm not an expert coach yet, and that I'm getting better with every session. I'm getting better each time I try. Okay. Nothing that you try is going to be 100% all the time. You won't be 100% all the time. No one will. We're not supposed to be. Okay. We're supposed to have these human experiences with ups and downs, with challenges, with wins, good things, bad things. That's the human experience. Okay. You could put an alarm in your phone or like a recurring calendar event, and congratulate yourself on your accomplishment. My business coach, Brooklyn Jolly, always does that. Okay. So you could say, congratulations on losing that 30 pounds. And that goes off every week or every single day. So you have that alarm that goes off, and it's congratulating, like you've already done it. Okay. This is called manifesting. Congratulations on reading those 50 books. That was whatever your goal was. That's going to feel so good. Congratulations on meditating for 10 minutes every single day. And what this will do is reinforce that finish line and create that feeling already for you. Okay. That's the feeling that we want to go for. That's the feeling that we're trying to familiarize ourselves with, because you'll continue moving in that direction toward that finish line, toward that feeling. Okay. Celebrate every chance that you get. When you do this while working on goals, it increases your chances of continuing to work on it. So sometimes you'll just take a small step. You know what? Today, I literally took a small step and I got on the scale. And then you celebrate. Yay, me. Good job, me. When I finished writing this masterclass that took me like 2 months to write, because I had to just finally take the time to sit down and do it, I put my hands up in the air and I went, woo, go me. I'm so proud of me. Nobody was around. All the kids were asleep. My husband was downstairs watching a movie for himself. But I had to congratulate myself that like, oh, I did something really big that I've been wanting to do. Okay. All right. Think of how we celebrate. Jon Acuff talks about the finish line at races. So he does a lot of like marathons, half marathons, and those kinds of things. I am not a runner, but I have a lot of family members that are. So I've been to several races and kind of see how it works. So like preparing is not fun, and getting up early and running in weird weather is not fun. But the very, very end, there's a big deal. People are clapping. There's crowds. There's a big finish line. There's snacks and water and juice. And they have, if it's a big race, they have like the little blanket things. They give you a medal. It's exciting. And it's because our brain remembers the end. And so if they try to make that the best part, it makes you want to do it again. They do this with recitals for if you have kids in dance classes, okay? They have the costumes, the stage, the lights, polished routine. Maybe you get your little girl flowers, or you take them for a treat afterwards. That's what they look forward to, okay? It makes you want to do it again, and it helps you forget the painful parts or the parts that weren't fun. Okay, the taking them to dance class, and the going every single week, and the weeks where you had to go extra because there was a power outage. Okay, that's the not fun part. But then you get the big ta-da at the end, and it's like, yay, oh, we just love this. And then it makes you want to do it again. Okay. All right. So all in all, keep visualizing that finish line. Whatever your finish line looks like, keep that in mind, and that will help you go for your goal. Okay. Jon Acuff, in All It Takes Is a Goal, episode 3, he talks again about races, and he says, walking counts when you can't run. And this one like almost made me cry, because he says, if you clap and cheer for the athlete who crawls across the finish line, why wouldn't you cheer for yourself when you walk? Okay, no one says that you have to run through every single goal. You can go as slow as you need to go. It is your goal. Okay, we watch these amazing races sometimes, and there's an athlete who, is throwing off to the side. They can't run. They're having cramps, and they're literally crawling across the finish line. And the rest of us aren't going, oh, how sad for them. No, we are cheering them on and saying, come on, you can do it. There's people who've run out there and who've helped carry them across the finish line. We are cheering for them. And some of them are perfect strangers. We have no idea who they are. So why in the world can we not cheer for ourselves when all we're doing is walking? Okay, so keep walking. Be kind as you try. Okay, everything you do counts. It always counts. Okay, tell yourself that. All right, and then I will leave you with a last quote from Jon Acuff. He says, this was in his email this morning. Approach a new goal as a chance to explore what you're capable of, not a chore to fix what you're incapable of. Pretty good, huh? I like that. All right. I hope you have enjoyed this masterclass. Again, if you have any questions, please send them my way in email or reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm on all of them, and my messages and inboxes, they're always open. So contact me if you'd like to ask me any questions. I will be coming out soon with ways to work with me this year, and I can't wait to talk to you next month.